Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating piece of architecture. We're looking at exactly how the calendar invite server automatically takes a standard, everyday calendar event and transforms it into a complete, ready-to-deploy suite of marketing assets. We're talking zero manual data entry here, no redundant copying and pasting, just pure, seamless automation. Let's get right into it. So, looking at the master blueprint, we can trace the actual chronological journey of this data. It all starts over on the left with just a simple, standard calendar invite. From there, it moves through a processing engine right in the middle, and finally, it routes directly into a fully fledged marketing hub on the right side. It's a system that fundamentally changes how we handle event data. To truly grasp how this architecture works, we're going to follow the literal life of an invite through 5 quick stages. We'll cover the anatomy of automated invites, Stage 1, client input, Stage 2, the processor, Stage 3, marketing display, and wrap it up with the end-to-end loop.
All right, Part 1, the anatomy of automated invites, the high-level architecture. So the entire display data workflow breaks down into 3 very distinct stages. Step 1 kicks off with the organizer's calendar client. That's your universal input. Then Step 2 acts as the engine. This is the inbound calendar invite processor, which is built on AWS. And finally, Step 3 wraps things up as deployed outputs inside the marketing hub display. It's just a remarkably clean, linear pipeline.
Moving on to Part 2. Stage 1, client input, also known as the frictionless trigger. Usually building marketing assets means logging into complex software platforms, right? Well, not here. This entire automation kicks off with one absolutely universal trigger. All you have to do is simply add this specific email address, create@calendarsnack.com, to your calendar event as a guest. That's literally it. Adding that email acts as your definitive payload. Think about it. The system requires absolutely no new software to learn. Just by inviting that one address, you're instantly routing a copy of the raw calendar invite straight to the back-end architecture. It's an incredibly frictionless initiation because it relies entirely on a behavior you're already doing every single day. Okay, Part 3, Stage 2, the processor. And we're looking under the hood of AWS. The very second that invite leaves your outbox, the AWS Simple Email Service catches and ingests the raw email. It essentially acts as an inbound processor, meticulously disassembling your invite into its core components, so it's pulling apart the subject, the time, the location, and the message body. And while it's doing this extraction and transformation, it generates and assigns a permanent unique UID to both the event and your email address. This permanently links them together for future tracking, which means absolutely no manual sorting is required on your end. This process right here brilliantly illustrates the state management CRUD pipeline in action. See, because the database relies on your native calendar client to manage the event lifecycle, absolute structural integrity is always maintained. Your new invites are logged via that unique UID we just talked about. Then, for updates, say you change the time or location and hit save, those are routed right back through the processor to instantly overwrite the existing data. And cancels? Those are processed to simply mark the event as canceled in the database. Crucially, all of this happens without ever deleting your core structural data, so your historical records are always perfectly preserved. So with that absolute structural integrity locked into a unified data source, the database immediately springs into action. It branches out via REST APIs to feed multiple channels simultaneously. We're talking about powering the CIS console, native web apps, complex reporting dashboards, and even AI agent solutions all at once. It's really a masterclass in architecture built for multi-channel sending, all stemming from one single source of truth.
Which brings us to Part 4, Stage 3, marketing display, the deployed output.
Ultimately, all that beautifully processed data hits the terminal node of the marketing hub display layer. This is a highly actionable UI where that raw, disassembled calendar data, the exact stuff we've been tracking since your very first email, is instantly converted into ready-to-deploy event marketing interfaces. The absolute key takeaway you should focus on here is that this requires zero, and I mean zero, manual data entry on the marketer's part. The whole shebang is populated automatically via those REST APIs. Because the entire system operates on a write-once-deploy-everywhere philosophy, that one single invite you sent out is now powering a massive suite of tools. You get an upcoming events feed, a multi-event schedule page, dedicated standalone landing pages, complete with native invite buttons, and even dynamic email campaign RSVP links for platforms like MailChimp and Klaviyo. It even sets up VIP bulk sending and searchable event databases.
Seriously, all of that generated from just one simple calendar invite. Finally, part 5, the end-to-end loop, shifting the workload.
When you take a step back and look at this massive transition, it's pretty wild. By just leveraging an existing, entirely frictionless human behavior, simply creating a calendar event, this automated pipeline provides maximum leverage. It completely shifts the heavy lifting of ETL processing, data state management, and asset creation entirely off of the event marketer's plate. The system just handles it behind the scenes, beautifully bridging that gap between a standard calendar and a full-scale marketing deployment.
Which leaves us with this final, crucial thought for anyone dealing with event data and marketing today. If an entire suite of complex marketing assets can be flawlessly deployed just by typing one single email address into your calendar, why on earth are you still building campaigns the old manual way? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.